Have you ever found yourself puzzled by the seemingly paradoxical nature of attraction? Why is it that when you're fully invested in someone, giving them your undivided attention, they often seem indifferent? Yet the moment you pull back, focus on yourself, and stop seeking their validation, their interest suddenly spikes. What if I told you this isn't just a coincidence, but rather a pattern rooted in both human psychology and timeless philosophical teachings? This might sound counterintuitive, but today we'll unravel the mystery behind this dynamic. The principles of Stoicism, a philosophy centered on self-control, inner peace, and independence, hold the key to understanding this behavior. More importantly, they provide actionable strategies to help you not only navigate relationships but thrive within them. Imagine becoming the kind of man who is so rooted in his own values, passions, and life's purpose that others naturally gravitate toward him. Here's the big question. Are you ready to step away from outdated, approval-seeking habits and embrace a transformative mindset? In this exploration, we'll dive into 9 compelling proofs that demonstrate why she may only want you when you no longer want her. Each one will challenge conventional wisdom, offering insights that can revolutionize your romantic experiences. Stay tuned, because the last proof might just be the game changer you didn't know you needed. Let's dive in. 1. Cultivate emotional equilibrium. Emotional equilibrium is your fortress in the stormy seas of relationships. Think about it. How often have you allowed someone else's behavior to dictate your mood? Perhaps she didn't text back as quickly as you'd hoped, or maybe her interest seemed to wane after a few dates. You found yourself spiraling, overanalyzing every interaction, and desperately seeking reassurance. Sound familiar? Now imagine a different scenario. Picture yourself as a man who remains unshaken by external circumstances, who doesn't flinch at the absence of immediate validation. You've cultivated an inner stillness, a calm center that no amount of external turbulence can disrupt. This is the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to control what we can, our thoughts and actions, and release our grip on what we cannot, the thoughts and actions of others. Women, whether consciously or subconsciously, are drawn to this kind of strength. Emotional equilibrium signals that you are not easily swayed, that you possess a depth and steadiness they can rely on. When you maintain your composure, even when she's testing your boundaries or sending mixed signals, you demonstrate a level of self-mastery that is undeniably attractive. But how do you get there? Start by recognizing that your worth is not tied to her validation. When you disengage from the need for constant approval, you free yourself from emotional dependence. This doesn't mean you become cold or indifferent. Rather, you exude a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. It says, I value myself and I'm not here to seek permission to feel good about who I am. Let's illustrate this with an example. Imagine you've been seeing someone for a few weeks. Things are going well, but suddenly she becomes distant. Instead of panicking and bombarding her with messages, you take a step back. You continue focusing on your passions, whether it's hitting the gym, advancing in your career, or pursuing a hobby that lights you up. When she finally reaches out, she'll find a man who hasn't been waiting around, but rather someone who's been thriving on his own terms. This approach not only protects your peace, but also elevates your allure. Why? Because you've shown that your emotional state isn't at her mercy. Women respect and are intrigued by men who exhibit such resilience. It's a rare quality in a world where many are quick to lose their composure at the first sign of disinterest. By cultivating emotional equilibrium, you shift the power dynamic. No longer are you the one chasing, anxiously seeking her attention. Instead, you become a man who commands respect and admiration simply by being steadfast in his self-worth. It's a subtle yet profound transformation that can change the course of your relationships. The question now is, are you ready to embrace this stoic mindset? To become the kind of man who remains grounded, no matter the external circumstances? If so, you're already on the path to mastering the art of attraction through emotional resilience. Stay tuned for the next proof, where we'll explore how detaching from the pursuit of validation can amplify your confidence and redefine your interactions. 2. Avoid the pursuit of validation. Let's dive into one of the most transformative shifts you can make, letting go of the need for validation. It's a common trap, isn't it? You meet someone you're interested in, and suddenly, your world revolves around their approval. You're constantly checking your phone for a reply, wondering if you said the right thing, or worrying about whether they truly like you. But here's the harsh truth. Seeking validation is the quickest way to lose someone's interest. Why? Because nothing erodes attraction faster than the scent of desperation. When you chase approval, you project an energy that says, "I need you to make me feel valuable." That's not confidence, that's dependence. And dependence is the antithesis of allure. Now, consider the principles of Stoicism. This ancient philosophy reminds us that true confidence comes from within. It's about recognizing your intrinsic worth and understanding that your value isn't determined by external opinions. When you stop chasing validation, you become the kind of person who naturally attracts admiration, because your self-worth isn't up for negotiation. Let's take a closer look. Imagine you're at the beginning of a new connection. Instead of constantly texting or trying to arrange meetups, you let the interaction flow naturally. You're not fishing for compliments or pushing for reassurance. You engage when it feels right, but you're equally comfortable stepping back and allowing her to come to you. This creates a dynamic where your time and attention feel earned, not given freely as a plea for acceptance. Women are drawn to men who know their worth, men who don't need constant reminders that they're desirable. When you stop seeking her approval, you send a powerful message. I'm confident in who I am, with or without your affirmation. But let's be real, letting go of the need for validation isn't always easy. It requires a shift in mindset, a commitment to trust in your own value. Start small. The next time you feel the urge to seek her reassurance, pause and remind yourself, her opinion doesn't define me. My worth is rooted in my character, my passions, and my values. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop trying so hard to win her over, you create space for her to come toward you. People are naturally intrigued by those who exude quiet confidence. By focusing on your own growth and happiness, you become a man who's not only attractive but also deeply inspiring. Now let's turn the spotlight on you, our viewer. What do you think? Have you ever caught yourself chasing validation in your relationships? Or perhaps you've experienced the magnetic power of pulling back and focusing on your own worth? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know how this resonates with you. And if you're finding these insights valuable, don't forget to hit that like button. Your engagement helps us bring more content that empowers and inspires. 3. Show you have different focuses. One of the most compelling traits you can exhibit in any relationship is a well-rounded life. When your world doesn't revolve around her, you're signaling something powerful, that your time, energy, and attention are precious. This isn't about playing hard to get or pretending to be busy. It's about genuinely immersing yourself in pursuits that enrich your life and bring you joy. Consider this. What's more attractive? A man who's constantly waiting for her texts, always available at a moment's notice, or a man who's deeply engaged in his passions, whether that's mastering a skill, building his career, or exploring the world. The latter, of course. Why? Because independence and ambition are inherently attractive. Let's explore why this works. When you demonstrate that your focus isn't solely on her, you're embodying a critical principle of Stoicism. Control what's within your power and let go of the rest. In this case, your personal growth and fulfillment are firmly within your control, while her reactions or feelings are not. By channeling your energy into areas where you have agency, you not only cultivate a richer life, but also become more appealing to those around you. Imagine you're someone who's passionate about photography. You spend your weekends exploring new locations, capturing moments, and honing your craft. When you share your experiences, not to impress, but simply because they're a genuine part of who you are, you create a narrative of a life well lived. This naturally draws people in, sparking curiosity and admiration. She begins to see you not as someone who needs her validation, but as someone who's already thriving independently. The key here is balance. You're not ignoring her or being dismissive, rather you're showing that your life is full and meaningful, whether she's in it or not. This subtly shifts the dynamic. Instead of you seeking to fit into her world, she starts to wonder how she can become a part of yours. Moreover, having your own focuses protects you from the emotional roller coaster that often accompanies early stages of a relationship. When your happiness isn't tied to her actions or approval, you remain grounded and composed. This emotional steadiness is a hallmark of high-value individuals and an essential aspect of Stoic philosophy. Remember, it's not about being unavailable for the sake of it. It's about being genuinely committed to your own growth and passions. This authenticity shines through, making you someone worth knowing and pursuing. By prioritizing your own life, you create a dynamic where she sees you as a partner in an exciting, evolving journey rather than a clinging source of neediness. In relationships, as in life, the more you cultivate your own garden, the more others will be drawn to its beauty. Focus on what brings you joy and fulfillment, and watch as that energy transforms not only your relationships but your entire approach to life. 4. Value your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Unlike money or material possessions, it's finite and non-renewable. The way you spend your time sends a clear message about what you prioritize and value. When you demonstrate that your time is precious and you're selective about how and with whom you spend it, you naturally command respect and admiration. Now, consider this in the context of a relationship. Imagine you're engrossed in a project, hitting the gym or catching up with friends, and she calls or texts. Instead of immediately dropping everything to respond, you politely let her know that you're busy and will get back to her later. This simple act communicates volumes. You're showing that your life is full of purpose, and that while you value her, you won't compromise your own priorities at the drop of a hat. This approach isn't about playing games, it's about setting boundaries and maintaining balance. When you consistently prioritize your responsibilities and personal growth, you establish a dynamic where your time together becomes more meaningful. She begins to see that being part of your life is a privilege, not something to be taken for granted. Why does this work? It's rooted in human psychology. People tend to value what they perceive as scarce or exclusive. When you're always available, your presence can lose its impact, and interactions may become routine or less exciting. Conversely, when you show that your time is limited and purposeful, every moment you share carries greater significance. From a Stoic perspective, this ties back to the principle of focusing on what you can control. You have complete authority over how you allocate your time and energy. By guarding these resources wisely, you not only enhance your productivity and personal satisfaction, but also cultivate a sense of self-respect. This self-respect is palpable to others, making you naturally more attractive and inspiring. Imagine another scenario. You're deep into a significant work task when she reaches out. Instead of immediately shifting your focus, you continue until you've completed a milestone. Later, when you do respond, you explain, "I was fully engaged in my project, but now I'm free to talk." This approach not only demonstrates discipline and dedication, but also shows her that you value your work and commitments. She'll appreciate the quality of your attention more when she knows it's given intentionally, not out of a sense of obligation. It's important to note that valuing your time doesn't mean neglecting your partner or being cold. It's about finding a healthy balance where your personal ambitions coexist with your relationship. When both partners respect each other's time and priorities, it lays the foundation for a relationship built on mutual admiration and understanding. By living according to these principles, you're embodying the Stoic ideal of self-reliance and intentional living. You're not passively waiting for life or someone else to dictate your actions. Instead, you're actively shaping your days around what truly matters to you. This kind of intentional living is magnetic. People are drawn to those who have a clear sense of purpose and direction. And in a relationship, it fosters a dynamic where both individuals are empowered to grow and thrive. Ultimately, when you value your time, you teach others to do the same. You elevate your interactions, creating space for deeper, more meaningful connections. This shift in perspective doesn't just enhance your relationships, it transforms the way you approach life, bringing greater fulfillment and clarity to every moment. 5. Radiate confidence and assurance. Confidence is magnetic. It's not about loud proclamations or flashy displays, but rather a quiet, unshakable belief in yourself. Assurance is the steady hand that keeps you calm in uncertain moments, the silent strength that speaks louder than words. Together, confidence and assurance create an irresistible allure, drawing others in without effort. But what does true confidence look like? It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or trying to impress others at every turn. Real confidence comes from within. It's rooted in knowing your worth and standing firm in your values, regardless of external validation. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. The Stoic man doesn't chase after fleeting affirmations. He builds his life on a foundation of internal strength and self-mastery. Imagine you're on a date. Instead of anxiously wondering if she's impressed or overanalyzing every word you say, you're fully present. You're genuinely curious about her thoughts and experiences, but you're not dependent on her approval. If the conversation flows naturally, great. If there's a pause, you're comfortable sitting in silence, confident that the connection will unfold as it's meant to. This kind of composure is rare and powerful. Women are particularly drawn to men who exhibit this level of self-assuredness. It signals that you're not looking to them to complete you or validate your existence. You're offering companionship and partnership, not seeking a lifeline. This subtle but profound shift in mindset can transform how others perceive you. Let's take another example. In moments of uncertainty, such as when a relationship is just beginning to take shape, many people fall into the trap of seeking constant reassurance. They overthink their actions, analyze every interaction, and lose themselves in the pursuit of certainty. But the confident man, he understands that not everything is within his control. He focuses on what he brings to the table, his character, his passions, his integrity, and lets the rest unfold naturally. This doesn't mean you won't face doubts or insecurities. Everyone does. The key is how you handle them. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward in spite of it. When you radiate this kind of assurance, you become a source of stability and strength, qualities that are universally appealing. So how do you cultivate this inner confidence? Start by embracing your individuality. Recognize your strengths and acknowledge your growth areas without shame. Invest time in personal development, whether that's through learning new skills, pursuing hobbies, or reflecting on your values. The more you align with your true self, the less you'll feel the need to seek external approval. Now, let's hear from you. Have you ever experienced the power of quiet confidence in your relationships? Maybe there was a moment when you stopped trying to prove yourself and simply allowed your authentic self to shine. Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear how confidence and assurance have played a role in your life. And if this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video. Your support helps us continue sharing insights that empower and inspire. Confidence isn't just a trait, it's a journey. Let's take that journey together. 6. Cultivate self-sufficiency. There's something inherently attractive about a man who stands on his own 2 feet, unshaken by the tides of external influence. Self-sufficiency is not just about financial independence or practical skills. It's about emotional resilience and the ability to find fulfillment within yourself. This trait speaks volumes, signaling that you're a person who can thrive regardless of external circumstances. Why is self-sufficiency so appealing? Because it conveys stability. In a world where many seek constant reassurance or external validation, a self-sufficient man stands apart. He doesn't rely on others to feel whole or to define his purpose. Instead, he draws from a well of internal strength and clarity, which allows him to navigate life's challenges with grace. Consider this. When a woman sees that you're not dependent on her attention or affection to feel validated, it creates a powerful dynamic. She recognizes that you're with her by choice, not out of need. This distinction is crucial. It shows her that your life is already rich and meaningful, and you're inviting her to share in that, not to fill a void. From a Stoic perspective, this aligns perfectly with the principle of focusing on what you can control. Your happiness, growth, and sense of purpose are entirely within your grasp. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you ensure that no matter what happens in your relationships, your core remains intact. Imagine you're in a relationship where your partner becomes less communicative or starts to test boundaries. A dependent man might panic, scrambling to fix the situation and seeking constant reassurance. A self-sufficient man, however, responds differently. He acknowledges the shift but doesn't let it destabilize him. He continues to focus on his goals, his passions, and his well-being, trusting that the relationship will either find its equilibrium or naturally evolve. This doesn't mean you're indifferent or aloof. Self-sufficiency is about balance. It's about knowing that while you value your partner, your world doesn't collapse if they're momentarily unavailable or if things don't go as planned. This composure not only protects your emotional health but also enhances your allure. It's a quiet confidence that says, I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way. Let's put it into perspective. Picture a man who, instead of seeking constant interaction with his partner, spends his free time pursuing personal growth, whether that's mastering a craft, engaging in physical fitness, or contributing to his community. When they do come together, the time they share is vibrant and fulfilling because it's not built on dependency, but mutual respect and shared experiences. Women are naturally drawn to men who embody this kind of independence. It suggests reliability and depth, traits that are foundational for a healthy, lasting relationship. Moreover, self-sufficiency inspires others to cultivate their own independence, creating a dynamic where both partners grow individually and together. Ultimately, cultivating self-sufficiency transforms the way you approach relationships. It shifts the focus from what can I get to what can I offer. This mindset not only enhances your personal life but also creates a more balanced, respectful, and enriching connection with your partner. In embracing your own autonomy, you unlock a powerful magnetism that draws others in naturally. 7. Stimulate her instinct to chase. Human nature is a fascinating thing, especially when it comes to attraction. There's a primal thrill in the pursuit, a deep-seated instinct that dates back to our earliest ancestors. While this dynamic has evolved over time, its essence remains intact. We often value most what we must work for. This is where the art of stimulating her instinct to chase comes into play. Now, let's be clear. The goal here isn't manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding the natural rhythm of attraction and allowing it to unfold organically. When you're constantly available and eager, you inadvertently remove the element of challenge. While your intentions may be pure, an overabundance of attention can sometimes lead to complacency. On the other hand, creating a subtle sense of distance ignites curiosity and encourages her to close the gap. Consider a scenario where you're getting to know someone. You've shared a few great conversations and there's mutual interest. Instead of flooding her with messages or always being the first to initiate plans, you take a step back. You let her wonder what you're up to, give her space to think about you, and, most importantly, give her the opportunity to make the next move. This isn't about disappearing or being disinterested. It's about pacing the interaction in a way that keeps the excitement alive. When you're not constantly seeking her attention, she begins to feel the urge to seek yours. This dynamic is rooted in the principle of scarcity. What isn't readily available often feels more valuable. The beauty of this approach lies in its alignment with Stoicism. You're not reacting impulsively or chasing after fleeting emotions. Instead, you're exercising patience and self-control, focusing on what you can control, your actions and your energy. By doing so, you cultivate a sense of intrigue and maintain your emotional balance. Think of it like this. When you're too readily accessible, interactions can become predictable. But when there's an element of unpredictability, when she doesn't always know when you'll reach out or what your next move will be, it keeps her engaged. This isn't about being erratic, but rather about maintaining a level of independence and spontaneity that makes each interaction feel fresh and exciting. Moreover, when she begins to chase, it's not because you've coerced her into doing so, but because she genuinely wants to. She starts to realize that your time and attention are valuable, and she becomes more invested in the connection. This shift not only enhances the attraction, but also lays the groundwork for a more balanced and mutual dynamic. The key is to approach this with authenticity. You're not withholding attention out of strategy, but because you're genuinely focused on your life, your goals, your passions, and your well-being. When you embody this mindset, the chase becomes a natural byproduct of your self-sufficiency and confidence. In essence, stimulating her instinct to chase isn't about creating distance for the sake of it. It's about cultivating an environment where mutual interest can thrive, where both individuals feel the thrill of pursuing and being pursued. By embracing this dynamic, you foster a connection that's both exciting and deeply rooted in respect and admiration. 8. Infuse excitement through selective attention. Let's talk about the power of selective attention, one of the most effective yet underrated tools in maintaining attraction. When every moment is predictable, relationships risk falling into monotony. However, when you introduce an element of surprise and uncertainty, you ignite a spark that keeps the connection alive and thriving. Selective attention isn't about being hot and cold. It's about being intentional with the moments you choose to give and withhold your focus. Imagine how much more meaningful your interactions become when your attention feels earned rather than expected. It's a psychological phenomenon known as intermittent reinforcement, where sporadic rewards, like a thoughtful message or a surprise compliment, hold more weight than constant, predictable ones. Here's how it works. One day you might send a heartfelt text, letting her know you're thinking about her. The next day you focus on your personal goals and keep communication light. This ebb and flow creates a rhythm that's both engaging and unpredictable. It keeps her wondering about your next move, sparking curiosity and excitement. The beauty of this approach is its alignment with Stoicism. By controlling where and when you direct your attention, you maintain emotional balance and demonstrate mastery over your impulses. You're not rushing to fill every silence or seeking her constant approval. Instead, you're creating a dynamic that's both respectful of her individuality and reflective of your own independence. Think about it. When was the last time a surprise gesture or a break from routine made a moment stand out? It's likely that those moments lingered in your mind longer than the predictable, everyday exchanges. That's the power of selective attention. It ensures that the time you spend together is memorable, not mundane. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever noticed how a little unpredictability can transform a relationship? Maybe you've experienced a surge of excitement when someone you care about suddenly does something unexpected. Or perhaps you've seen how pulling back slightly can make your presence more appreciated. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your experiences with how selective attention has played a role in your connections. And if you're finding these insights valuable, go ahead and give this video a like. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you content that enhances both your relationships and your personal growth. Remember, the goal isn't to manipulate, but to create a dynamic that keeps the relationship vibrant. By infusing excitement through selective attention, you maintain a sense of freshness and depth that makes each interaction meaningful. This balance not only strengthens your bond, but also ensures that both you and your partner remain engaged and invested. 9. Cultivate emotional equilibrium. Emotional equilibrium is the cornerstone of a fulfilling and balanced life, and it's especially critical in relationships. In a world where emotional highs and lows can dictate behavior, mastering the art of staying composed sets you apart. Cultivating this balance not only safeguards your well-being but also elevates your allure. When you possess emotional equilibrium, you're not swayed by every shift in her mood or the relationship's dynamics. This isn't about being detached or indifferent. It's about maintaining your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism emphasizes this principle, encouraging us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, responses, and actions. By doing so, you demonstrate a maturity and resilience that many find irresistible. Imagine a situation where she's testing boundaries, perhaps by being less responsive or creating moments of tension. Instead of reacting impulsively or succumbing to frustration, you maintain your composure. You acknowledge her behavior without allowing it to dictate your own. This steadiness sends a powerful message. You are a man who values emotional stability and refuses to be drawn into unnecessary drama. The beauty of emotional equilibrium lies in its ability to foster trust and respect. When you consistently respond to challenges with calm and measured actions, she sees you as a reliable and grounded partner. This reliability is a foundation upon which deeper connections are built. It shows that you're not just reactive but intentional, someone who can handle life's complexities with grace. Moreover, emotional equilibrium enhances your ability to navigate difficult conversations or disagreements. Instead of letting emotions escalate, you approach conflicts with a clear mind and a focus on resolution. This not only diffuses tension but also demonstrates that you prioritize the health of the relationship over momentary victories. From her perspective, this level of self-mastery is deeply reassuring. It signals that you're not easily rattled and that your sense of self isn't tied to fleeting emotions. In a world where many are quick to overreact or seek validation through conflict, your calm demeanor becomes a rare and valuable trait. To cultivate this equilibrium, practice mindfulness and reflection. When faced with emotionally charged situations, take a step back and evaluate your response. Ask yourself, am I reacting out of impulse or am I acting in alignment with my values? This simple pause can make all the difference, allowing you to respond with intention rather than reflex. Ultimately, emotional equilibrium isn't just about improving your relationships, it's about enhancing your overall quality of life. It empowers you to remain centered amidst chaos, to find peace in the face of uncertainty. And as you embody this balance, you naturally attract those who appreciate and admire your strength. By embracing emotional equilibrium, you're not only following a core tenet of Stoicism but also setting yourself apart as a man of substance and depth. This inner calm becomes a beacon, drawing others toward you and fostering connections that are both meaningful and enduring. As we've journeyed through these 9 proofs, a clear picture emerges. Relationships thrive not when you seek validation or make yourself constantly available, but when you embrace a life rooted in purpose, independence, and emotional mastery. Each principle we've explored is interconnected, forming a cohesive approach to attraction and deeper connection. From cultivating emotional equilibrium to mastering the art of selective attention, these practices aren't about playing games or manipulating dynamics. They're about embracing timeless values that elevate your self-worth and naturally draw others toward you. By embodying Stoicism, you prioritize your personal growth, maintain your inner peace, and set a standard for how you expect to be treated. Ultimately, these principles lead to a more fulfilling life, not just in your relationships, but in every aspect of your personal journey. When you value yourself, others will naturally follow suit. When you stop chasing and start leading with confidence and authenticity, you create the kind of dynamic where mutual respect and genuine attraction flourish. Now it's your turn to reflect and take action. Which of these proofs resonates most with you? What steps can you take today to begin shifting your mindset and approach to relationships? Share your thoughts and experiences with us, and let's continue this conversation. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the powerful intersection of Stoicism and modern relationships. Remember, the most rewarding investment you can make is in yourself. Until next time, keep striving for growth, balance, and authenticity.